So you deserve what you are worth. And also one mentor really helped me when I was negotiating my first salary, knowing that this is imposter syndrome. That has nothing to do basically with my abilities. It's just like some limiting beliefs I have in my head. That's when I realized that I want to be working for companies that have values that I'm also aligned with. The change will happen only if everyone will be involved. But still, if you go to like a networking event for founders, you might be like one of the women there. I always knew I want to start a business. Ty jsi taková hodná holka. To some point, I also wanted to be a rebel.
Hello, I'm Estelle, and you are listening to Européennes, the French podcast that talks about European women. Today, I interview Lucie Neumanova, a girl boss from Czech Republic. Happy listening.
Neumanova. Okay, that's right. Okay, so I'm gonna start. You're
good.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Great. Lucie Neumanova, hello, and thank you for accepting this interview, which is my first remote. Lucie, you are 34 years old and you were born in Czech Republic. You moved to Prague, Barcelona, and San Francisco to study business and economics. You then started your career in the prestigious Silicon Valley in California. And over there, you became a serial digital marketer and you worked with many well-known apps such as Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, or Pinterest. After 8 years of living the American dream, you decided to return to your roots in Prague and to found with Klara Olikova Femmes, 6 years ago in 2018. So Femmes is born upon a female community and offers now in 3 European countries, so Czech Republic, UK and Germany, mentoring and coaching programs. Those programs help people thrive professionally. So you have now gathered more than 1,200 people and the community is very active, thanks notably to the several events you and Femmes organize. So today I am honored to welcome you in the Européennes podcast because your voice and your story are going to inspire listeners for sure. So my first burning question is, why have you decided to give your mentoring firm the name Femmes and what does it mean?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to this podcast. So yeah, when I was living in the US and I started brainstorming, what kind of ideas I would like to develop at some point, I really like this concept of supporting women and also creating something for women. And then when with my co-founder, we came up with this concept. It was first like a community for women. It was a networking community first, then it kind of developed into a mentoring platform. So when I was brainstorming the names, I was kind of like visualizing a place where people meet together and, create also something together. And since I'm also a designer, I like painting, so if you take like the palette where you mix the different colors, which basically symbolize different people from different countries, kind of like being mixed together as the colors in one place, and then a painter will make something beautiful out of it. So this was the first idea, and then to put also to show like that it's mainly focused on women. The first idea was to be called like women female palette, but actually my friend, she was like, so why don't you call it femme palette because it sounds better. So so that's why it's femme palette.
So nice. You first have grown Femmes upon a female community.
Mm-hmm.
So to what extent this sorority is powerful in our career?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think it's super powerful, and it's like from what we see, we definitely get more women coming to our events, but also even like some men, but those are outliers. I don't think some men are not brave enough to join us, even though we are also promoting the event to be for everyone, not just for women. But it's definitely getting better. And now it's being a bit more mixed than from the beginning. But I can definitely sense, it's a bit different if you're surrounded only by women, or if there is one guy, many times, this guy is somehow center of the attention, and the dynamics kind of is a bit different. So you can definitely sense it from the feedback that we get, that people are getting jobs thanks to our community, because they meet someone, they network, they find clients for their business, or they also find friends, mentors, anyone. So I think it's great, to be surrounded by people who are also willing to help you, and also you willing to help someone else. So it's like the whole concept, that people should be helping each other. That's it's based on.
Okay, and can you just tell us how it works in your program? So, what is the difference between the coaching and the mentoring program, for example?
Yeah, the main reason why we started the mentoring platform is that we want people who have some experience, in their career to share it with others, so that this way, as I mentioned, people are basically helping to each other, because one time I'm a mentor, but maybe at some point I'm going to be a mentee, because I'm going to need help from someone else. So it's kind of like a circle. It's kind of connected. You can be a mentor, you can be a mentee, you can be both. But the whole concept is so that people should share their knowledge with each other, and that's what the mentoring is about. So in our terms, mentoring is about sharing your experience, having the mentee who is the one who is asking the questions. Maybe they have some career challenge that they need help with. They're asking the mentor how was their experience, how they would approach such a situation. So it's a lot also about inspiration. Like, the mentor is not going to be telling you should be doing this and this, but they will share, this is how I would approach it, or this is what happened in my career. And you as a mentee can get inspired from it and act on it if you want or not. In terms of coaching, we also offer coaching as well. It's mostly for people who, for example, are not ready to work with a mentor, because they don't know what they should be asking, what they should be focusing on. So it's mostly for people who maybe are thinking about some new career direction. And for these, we also recommend to work with the coach first. And the coach is basically the one who is asking you the questions, and you are looking for the answers within yourself. So it's a bit different concept.
Okay, and how do you match people together?
So we match them by, so first the mentee has to fill out application, where we already, ask many questions, and then we schedule a call with the mentees where we ask them what are their career challenges, what they need help with, how their ideal mentor would look like, and so on. And since we are also doing interviews with the mentors who are joining our program, we basically know both sides. We know what the mentor has to offer, what was their experience, what they went through, and then we have the mentee who has this specific challenge, and basically based on these challenges and also the kind of like the ideal mentor profile, we try to find the right match.
Okay, that's nice. And how has mentoring helped you to take care of your career?
Oh, it did a lot, and I think it's also like one of the reasons why advocate for it, and I've been building this mentoring platform. So first in my career, it helped me when I was switching from doing marketing to being designer. So there was a big career step, which I did when I was in San Francisco. I also, since I had a visa, I had to switch the companies within like 3 months. So it was a very stressful time, but thanks to, support of those mentors, even though there were some like unofficial mentors who were designers who were helping me preparing for the interviews, telling me what even designer interview look like, what are the questions they usually ask, how do you present your portfolio, things like this. They shared with me because they had designer designer job, so they knew what's the process, and this basically helped me land the job. So since then, I've been advocate for mentorship, and even in my design career, there were also sometimes when I was not growing that fast. I didn't know what kind of like design I should be focusing on, if it's product design, if it's the marketing design, because I had the marketing experience, so it was easier for me. But product design was also like a bit of challenge, but I also liked that direction as well. So even like having someone to talk about these options, like what I should be focusing on. And then also one mentor really helped me when I was negotiating my first salary, which happened a bit later when then I should have done it. I think I was always like so grateful that I have this job. I was able to land the job within 3 months, so I even didn't negotiate it. I was like, yeah, give me like whatever, But then later I realized that it's not good for your career, because if you start at a lower salary, then it's much harder to get to a higher salary, because even like every year or promotion cycle, you can get only like a certain percentage, and if you start already low, it's kind of hard to get to where you would ideally would like to be, or even like what's your like a market value.
And talking about wages and negotiation, what is your principal advice for a good negotiation?
Definitely use lots of data, put it all together, showing what you all accomplished, what was the impact for the company, how it helped the company grow, what are the other things you have done on top of the role that you were doing. And yeah, so if you have like a strong case, then you just like go to the manager and start the negotiation, which many times can lead to no. But even if it's a no, then you should agree on, okay, so what are the steps I can do so that I can reach to this salary at this like a time, and then really track how you are progressing, and having really a clear set of KPIs that you should be targeting, so that next time when you try to negotiate again, you are basically like showing the results, what you have done.
And are data's the most powerful thing to use against the imposter syndrome, or is there anything else we can use?
Yeah, I think that's definitely connected to it, seeing, if you are not like asking for something, it's maybe the imposter syndrome, because you have the results, you are good, you have good results, so you deserve what you are worth. And many times also like knowing your market value, which especially like in the US, these data are more available than I would say in Europe. I think like for imposter syndrome, just like knowing that this is imposter syndrome, that it has nothing to do basically with my abilities. It's just like some limiting beliefs I have in my head. It's gonna definitely help.
I'm going just a bit back about your experience as a UX and UI designer. So for the listeners who don't know what it means, it's user experience and interface designer, so for digital apps. What is the greatest lesson you learned from this American experience?
Ooh. That's a good question. I mean, yeah, I think it was actually like my first like real full-time job that I got back in the US. Before I was working only part-time because I was still at school. But yeah, I guess like the work ethic and like working hard, I would say, is what I learned there, because like the first job I ever had there was an internship. It was for a fashion tech startup, and the founders, they were from China, and they were used to working 6 days a week. It was like a standard that everyone should be going to the office 6 days a week. Even like over there, I had meetings at like almost like midnight, because I was an intern, and and they were working with me also like during these hours, because during the day I was at school. So I think the work ethic for me is like the main thing that I got from this working experience. After sometimes I realized that this is not like sustainable. So when I found a full-time job, I was glad that the company that I found had really good values. And that's when I realized that I want to be working for companies that have values that I'm also aligned with, because over there, the value was like, we are as a family. It's not, I know now, people don't like this value anymore, but that time it was actually nice, because we were really like treated everyone as friends. We were working together all the time, and there were not much of like work-life balance. It was more like working with friends all the time, which also that time when I was single, young, it's a bit different than when you have family, a partner. So definitely like also realizing that I want to work for a company which has good values, and also which is also doing something impactful, because I also work for a company which was doing some like data tracking somewhere. And to be honest, I was not like connected, with the mission of the company. So when then I found a company where we were actually helping people to change their lives, it was so much different.
Okay, and you also wrote me that you want to fight against inequalities and biases. So, is this fight one of the main purposes of your professional life?
Yeah, I think like even like what we do at Fempalette is we are trying to equip everyone with the right skills, help them also recognize there are some biases, and also give them the tools, how to find it. Especially also we are also opening this topic to broader audience, not just like for women, because they are the ones who are experiencing it, but more to also the men, who can be the ones who might have those biases. So we are definitely also opening up the whole like fan palette. Even like we have maybe like 30% of our mentees are men, so it's not only women. And we actually like that it's more like a conversation, because just like talking about all these topics among each other, because the change will happen only if everyone will be involved, and also especially like the people on top will be involved. So even there, our goal is basically to get more women to the leadership positions, because for example in Czech Republic there are not that many, even though it's definitely getting better. But seeing like the diversity, what also the diversity can do to the whole society, to companies, like how it is actually beneficial.
That's funny you talk about Czech Republic, because I found a figure which is 14% of Czech firms are under the control of women, 57 of the men, and the rest are run by legal entities, so not real people.
Okay.
That was in 2017. Do you think it has changed, or is it same?
No, I think it's changing. I think it's definitely a topic that many companies are already focusing on. Even like the clients that we work with, or some other companies, they are even like sending some employees to our mentoring program, because they want to help them grow. There are companies who even have in their like strategy that they would like to, by like 2030, have like 50-50 representation in the leadership position. So that's why they have this like leadership program. So I think it's definitely getting better. Like since we started, like at the beginning, it was a bit tough to talk only like about activities to help women. Many times what we heard was, okay, so if we do this for women, people are going to be asking, why are we not doing this for everyone else? But now I think it's much better. Now I think the awareness is there.
Okay.
It's just now to keep just doing things for it. It's not like something that has been solved yet.
Yeah. Yes, and in 2023 gender gap report of the World Economic Forum, so Czech Republic is ranked 101 over 146 countries. So how does it look like being a woman in Czech Republic today? Because it's not a very good position. So
No, I think it's also getting better.
okay.
I think even like the society is getting a bit more open-minded, but it's gonna take a while. But I think at least like our generation, it's open-minded. It's just more about the older population.
Hmm. And being a girl boss in Czech Republic nowadays.
Well, there aren't that many female founders in Czech Republic, and that's also something we are trying to change. For example, we are organizing now like a female founders event, and we see that there is interest. So many people are coming to this event. Also, signing up for the program that we have, where we match them with some experienced entrepreneurs who then help them to either like to set up or to grow the business. There's definitely interest, but still, if you go to like networking event for founders, you might be like one of the women there, which sometimes it's not great. It will be better to connect with someone else there as well. So yeah, so it's getting better as everything. I think like the society is aware of this, and there are many programs to support this as well.
That's nice. You have many hope. And did this return to the roots, so to Czech Republic, feel like a desire, a need, or why did you choose to go back to Czech Republic for Femme Palette?
Yeah, so I returned during COVID.
Yeah.
I actually didn't plan to go back yet, but then it was COVID. My parents were there, so I wanted to be around them. And yeah, at the time I was still working for a company in the US, but I already was like maybe two years of Femme Palette, which I was doing the work remotely. But then when I was actually in Prague, I realized that I like it there, and I enjoyed it. I can do the things for Femme Palette during the day, because before I was working during the day, and then at night I was doing the Femme Palette stuff. But then, like being in Czech Republic, it was the opposite, and I actually enjoyed it. And yeah, then I realized I don't want to go back anymore, and that I want to focus on Femme Palette full time. So at some point, I also quit the job in the US and been entrepreneur since then.
So, do you recall the time you decided this and the place, like how it was?
I thought actually it's gonna be harder, because I was very attached to my life in the US, and I even had a boyfriend there, so my life was there. But then it's just like everything just like happened, with the COVID. And but I'm happy I did it. I'm glad I'm back, and I actually haven't been back since then.
Have you been inspired in this entrepreneurial journey by your family or by friends? Do you have models?
Definitely by my family, because my parents, they have a farming business.
Okay.
So even though it's a different type of a business, but still, I was always, somehow involved. I was always somehow helping, and I always knew I want to start a business. That's why I also studied business and economics. But I never knew like what it should be. And even with Femme Palette, it was like, okay, this is like a passion project. Let's do it because we want to do it. And then when we saw that there is this business opportunity, because there was nothing like this on market, and people were also willing to pay to get a mentor. So then we realized, okay, maybe this can be a business. This is how we can make it like a sustainable business and focus on it full time.
Okay, and talking about your childhood, what is the sentence you have the most heard as a kid? And can you tell me in your mother tongue?
Oh, wow, that's tough. Okay, so ty jsi taková hodná holka, which means you are such a good girl. Because I was kind of a good kid, you know. Um, I liked learning, so I was actually really good at school as well. And in comparison, for example, with my sister who didn't like school at all, I was, you know, the good one. So I think that's what I was getting feedback a lot, which to some point, you know, I also wanted to be a rebel. So there was definitely a time in my life, and I didn't want to be just like this. But yeah, I think I'm back to that.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I think it's the same for me. And lately, I was thinking sometimes it's good to be a good girl because you are good at school, you go far
Yeah,
in your studies, but sometimes you just want to scream or to, I don't know, to make some bullshit things. And
yeah, some
there's
bad
something.
choices.
Yeah, yeah, but do you think it's more an advantage or or an inconvenience?
I don't know. I think it was just like my journey, and I hope that my kids might be the same way, because it's much better when the kid wants to, or wants to go to school. You know, enjoys the school, because that's what my sister is experiencing with her kids now. So yeah. So I hope that my kids will be after me, and then I also will know that there will be a rebel part. So
Yeah, but still, your journey is a bit rebel because you choose to work in tech and it's a male-dominated world. There is no so much women. What do you answer to recruitment departments which say there is no female talent to work in tech?
that's interesting. I actually completely different experience, because um the first company that I worked full time for, we were focusing on like the creatives, also photographers, caterers, and in this industry, it was mostly women. So also this industry was also attracting more women. Um, and also the tech team was in Israel, so basically the business team was also mostly women. There was not that many men. And my second company, which was ed tech, helping people to change careers into tech, there were also many women, actually, because it has this the impact, the aspect, you know, of this business. And I think that's also attracting more women, that they want to work for company that is doing something good.
Hmm.
So for example, there we were struggling to get more men to join the company, because
Hmm.
they were more looking for something data focused.
Okay, that's nice to have another testimony. And what are your advices for women who are listening and who struggle with leadership to manage or to, I don't know, to make their voices heard?
That Yeah, so I would, I guess, answer it in two ways. So the first one, how to be a good manager. I have been through this, because I was like an individual contributor for a while. And then suddenly I was starting a company, and I was supposed to manage the whole team, you
Mm.
know. So I went through this, and what helped me was to also surround myself by people who have more experience in leadership than I have. So I actually had mentors who were managers, leaders, that I could ask them questions, you know, because many times in leadership, there are situations that you have never had to deal with, and suddenly there is something you don't know what to do with that. So having someone that you can talk to, and then also putting this as like something that you should be getting better at, you know. So investing in yourself, reading books about leaderships, listening to podcasts, and not just like being like, okay, I'm gonna do it somehow, but
Mm.
really trying to learn, because being a bad manager has a big impact on someone's career, someone's life. And I have been there in my career in the past when I didn't have good managers, and that actually, helped me, or it's helping me, that I'm trying to be better than them, and always try to think about like how I would feel if I was like in the other person shoes, and trying to be empathetic in different situations.
Okay, and for women who are not managers?
For women, I think so. You were asking about the like how to make your voice heard. Um, I was doing this mistake in my career a lot, that I was not speaking up in the meeting, because if there were more than like 5 people, and I also, like, English is not my first language, so I was also shy. What if I will say something stupid, or not stupid, but what if it's not going to be a perfect English? So it was more about like how I will deliver than what I want to deliver, and then I ended up not saying anything. And then you kind of get used to it, and then in every meeting you're basically the one who is not saying anything, so people are already not asking you anything. And yeah, so I think definitely like being aware that it's something that you should be doing, trying to be really proactive, and coming to the meeting prepared, having some questions, and even if it's like a stupid question, just like say something, so that people will remember you. And yeah, and then I guess also like building relationships in the office, which, I'm also introvert, so for me it's not easy to speak in front of people, so I can imagine that it's not easy for everyone to speak in front of people like that. So what I was, for example, doing, I was more building relationships with people one-on-one, so like asking people to grab a coffee, go for like a quick walking meeting, and just asking them what they are doing in their role, like what are the challenges they are having now, maybe if there's something you can help with, and so on. So even like this, because then next time when they will be thinking about working with someone on a project, they will know about you, because you already spoke together.
That's a really great one. I think I will remember it. Can you tell that you have feminist thinking or mindset with Femme Ballet, or?
Yeah, I think like I guess I'm feminist. I would like everyone to have the choice to do what they want, and not being judged by the society. And yeah, even like what we do at Femme Palette is many times, connected even with this, because we want to empower women, even to have the career, the finances, so that they can be independent, they can decide for themselves, and then when they decide, then also support them.
And can you remember your first feminist memory?
I mean, I'm always I guess my feminist memory is with my grandma, because she's very traditional, and so I've been trying to fight for, focusing on my career, not having kids yet, and also not having men who will be taking care of me, not getting married at in an early age. So I guess this was my my life, because my grandma is kind of the opposite, because she's from the old school, so I was trying to change her mind for a long time, since I was maybe 15, because I've been always the independent one.
Yeah, and not being a good girl, but that's not
Yeah,
easy.
that was before 15. Then there was the rebel phase.
Nice, thank you. Last question about your journey and your work. So I think you work a lot. You talked about the work value, but do you succeed in celebrating when you have a success?
That's a good question. I mean, I try to do it more often now. And even when you say I work a lot, I used to work much more. I try to be more mindful about my work-life balance. And yeah, I think like the older you get, and you also have different values. I was even just like saying it lately that even my values kind of changed. That some years back it was more focused on achievement, the power, building the business, but now it's more about kind of like the quality of life, the balance between the work, but also being able to enjoy the life. Now, like when something also happens, you're yeah, I'm trying to celebrate it more rather than moving to the like what's the next, like what's the next thing we can achieve.
Well done, because it's not easy. Okay, so we can go to the European portrait.
Okay, the top one.
Yeah. So if you were a European capital, you would be.
Wow. I think I think like in the past I would be Barcelona, because that's like where I kind of, even like found myself. But now I think I'm Prague. I just like fit there, I feel like.
Okay.
Definitely not Berlin.
Yes, because you live in Berlin
Yeah,
currently.
yeah,
Okay.
it's not my scene completely.
Okay. And you want to go back to Prague?
Yeah, we are actually moving back in the next months.
Oh, nice. Okay. If you were a culinary specialty of Europe,
Mhm.
you would be.
I think pizza, because I love pizza, and it has also different layers.
Yeah, that's true. You can be the good, the good girl and the rebel one.
Yeah, for
Two
example,
pizza.
if you put pineapples on your pizza.
Ah, that's true. And if you were a drink, a European drink, it's a tricky one because we don't think a lot about drinks, but maybe you have an idea.
Yeah, that's a tough one because I don't drink that much.
Okay, even soft.
So for me, I guess any non-alcoholic drinks.
Yeah,
Um,
cup of
yeah,
tea.
iced tea.
Iced tea. Okay, nice.
Mhm.
And the final one, if you were touristic place in Europe, you would be.
That's super hard.
I know. You're not alone telling me this. It's too hard.
It is. I would be the mountains, the Alps.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's hard to get up there, but when you are there, you will enjoy it. So it's kind of like it's not that easy to get to know me, but when you do, because I'm an introvert, so when you do, you will enjoy it.
That's really nice. Thank you very much, Lucie.
Thank you too. This was really fun.
If you have enjoyed this episode, please leave a comment or a mark if it's possible. You can also contact me on Instagram and subscribe to my podcast channel. There are also other episodes in English in my podcast library, so feel free to check and to listen to them. Bye!